Sure. Taptakanjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavani Shri Vrishabhana Sube Devi Pranamami Haripri Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Evaja Paridhanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhan Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshakare Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so we'll start with chapter 12, which is like devotional service. So this chapter 12 is a very important sloka because it talks about the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which is devotional service. And section 1, that is 1 to 7 slokas, is about personals versus impersonals, the supremacy of Krishna Bhakti. And section 2, that is 8 to 12, is about progressive levels of Bhakti. And section 3, 13 to 20 will be qualities that becomes one dear to Krishna. Okay. So, yeah, what do you think will be the connection between chapter 11 and 12? Why I ask this? Because you can expect some kind of a closed book exam from this type of discussion. Okay. It's a clue which I'm giving. So you can expect such questions also. Connection. So you should be knowing of the connection between all the chapters actually. Now, it's like a group discussion. Anybody can answer. So what do you think is the connection between the 11th and 12th chapter?
Relation between Mataji, Hare Krishna. Relation between universal form is impersonal, and like that, the 200 or other forms are personal. One relation is there.
So devotional service is done to the personal form of Krishna, right? That's
Yes,
a one feature. Yes. And okay, that is one connection. Good. One is like saying about the impersonal aspect. So is Krishna personal or impersonal?
Mataji is personal, but
personal.
he has a form of impersonal also.
Now, how Prafulla Mataji says personal. Now, how many? Okay, how many? You can raise hand. How many says he's personal? Okay, 1, 2, 3. How many says he's impersonal? Let me clear the feedback. How many say he's impersonal? Only Manasvi. What about others? So nobody says he's impersonal. So Kripa Mataji says personal. Rajesh Prabhu says he's impersonal. Now how many says he's both? Manasi, Supreme Mataji and Rajesh Prabhu, Soni Mataji. So only these many people have really understood Krishna. Because he's both. Yeah, even Dirnath Prabhu and Jyoti Mataji. He's both. He is having a personal feature as Bhagavan. He's also having an impersonal person as Brahman. Okay, the Brahman, the effulgence, not Brahman. So he has both. That's the features of the Lord, like the sunlight and the sun globe, sun planet. He has all the 3 features. So he has a personal form. Yes, the Tribhanga Lalita form, the Shyam Sundar form, that's a Bhagavan feature. He also has an impersonal feature. It's like simultaneously existing. Krishna's personal, that doesn't mean when he becomes a person, the Brahman is not there. No, it's there, right? See, I was hearing to Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada says, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, you think Krishna is not there? He's also there. He's not like us, right? So, okay. So this is so that's the connection. Connection is one is between the impersonal and the chapter 12 deals about the personal aspect of it, right? What else? What else is a connection between chapter 11 and 12? Only that. Is there any other connection? So Krishna has both the forms, but as devotees, we are so attached to the personal form of the Lord. Yes, Supriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the previous chapter, Arjuna asked, like, should he worship on the impersonal form or the personal form? So in this chapter, in the previous chapter, he tried to explain the impersonal form of the Lord. And in the second, that is in the 12th chapter, he's trying to express how he can use the devotion through how one can reach the personal form of Krishna through devotional service.
Very good. Yeah. There's a process. Process is explained, right? In 11th chapter, actually, our Sambandha is explained. What is our relationship with Krishna? Because he says, Ahamadir hi Deva, he shows all the universe is in that form. He says all the demigods, shows all the demigods in the form, and Krishna says that's a sambandha, that's our relationship with Krishna. And in the 12th chapter, he's saying the avideya, the process, the devotional service is the process how which we can go to Krishna. So anybody knows the 6 questions the sages of Naimisharanya asked? That's the first canto, first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody knows? There are 6 questions, sages of Naimisharanya. They get together and they ask 6 questions. The first canto, first chapter deals with the questions by the sages. The first question is, what is good for all? What is ultimate good for all? Second is, what is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures? Yes, Mataji. Nirguna Mother.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
It is a second question. Like first is like Manusha. Man has a, what is the life, their destination, their determination. Yeah. First question.
Okay, what is good for all mankind? Yeah. What is
Yeah. And then all the knowledge, what is the main purpose of that?
Yeah, the essence of Vedic scriptures.
Second, yeah.
Yes.
And then, Bhagwan Krishna, Lord Krishna is like why he has come on this earth.
Yeah. Why did he come as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki? Yes.
Yeah.
Fourth is?
Fourth one.
Yes, you know. Fourth question.
Yes, Mataji. The activities and the activities of the incarnations of the Lord.
Yeah, the Purusha avatar actually. And the fifth was? Fifth is the Leela avatar, and the last question was? Where did Dharma reside once Krishna left to the bond? So where did Dharma take shelter? That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So why did I say this is the 6 questions? In that it is said about what is the ultimate good for all. So the answer is Tave Pumsa Paro Dharma Yado Bhaktir Atokshache Ahaituki Apradihada Yatma Suprasidati. In the second chapter he gives is saying that what is the ultimate good for all is devotional service to Krishna. It should be unmotivated and uninterrupted, then it satisfies the self. Okay, so the process is explained in this chapter. So Krishna Bhakti is superior to impersonalism, definitely, right? Why do you think so? Why do you think Krishna Bhakti is superior than impersonalism? You can raise a digital hand. Yes, yes, Manasi, what will happen? Why is it superior?
It is more dear to Krishna, devotional service to Krishna.
Yes, and that's the only way we can understand Krishna, right? Bhakti Amam Abhijanadi, he says. Kanjan Mataji, what is the other reason?
Hare Krishna Mataji, when we are impersonally worshipping the Lord, we have lots of chances to fall down and come back to this world. But when we are worshipping personal form of the Lord, that is the form where we can exchange rasas with Lord, and we will be continuously engaged in the service of the Lord. So that's why we can actually be fixed in that service.
And what about the destination, Prajesh Prabhu? What will happen to impersonalists and personalists? What is the ultimate destination? What will happen to them?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Both personalists and impersonalists can get mukti, but the thing is that the type of mukti that they get is different. The impersonalists, they get the Sayujya mukti, which has it's like staying the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. There is no rasas, there's no exchange of love between the person practicing and the Lord. Whereas the devotees, they can get higher forms of mukti like Salokya, Samepya, and Sarupya types of mukti.
So
and
what
also
will happen to Sayujya Mukti? What is the
yes, Mataji.
result of Sayujya Mukti? What happens? Why is it said it's the lowest type? After Sayujya Mukti, as you said, there is no rasa, there is no service. So what happens to them? Those who went to the Brahman effulgence.
There's a tendency for them to fall down back and forth.
Yeah. Actually, Prabhupada mentions it's not a tendency, they must fall down because there is no shelter and there is no service there. Okay. So that is one. They will fall down. Okay. Aruhi krichena param padam tat padandyata. So even I was thinking there's a chance they might fall down. But then later on, Prabhupada mentions, no, they will fall down. They have to come down, right? Except they are like Jaya Vijayas, who are Krishna's. Okay, so Krishna in personalism. So he says in chapter 12, verse 1, Arjuna is asking Arjuna, Vaja evam sadadi yukta ye bhaktastam paryupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? So you already gave the answer. The worship of impersonalists is less perfect. Why? Because they're not going and entering into the kingdom of God. What are they going? They are going to be just inside, around the kingdom. They can't enter the kingdom. They can't go back to Vaikuntha or Goloka, right? They'll be in Brahman effulgence, and they undergo more difficulty than one who worship Krishna with great faith and great attention. Krishna himself says, "Klesho adhikata rastesham abhyakta sakta chedas." It's very difficult path. And the path of devotion is recommended because it's not only easy to follow, but also Krishna personally take charge of delivering his devotees. Okay, so Susukam Kartumagayam, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Idam Pratyaksha Bhagavam Dharmim, Susukam Kartum. It's very easy to follow, and in one life you can go back home, back to Godhead. So practical application is Bhakti is the safest and surest path of self-realization, because impersonal feature here is you will fall down, definitely. Sometimes there's a chance. Why do we say there's a chance? Because we can see for Jaya Vijaya, they all had Brahman effulgence, they merged, got Sayuja Mukti, but they were devotees of Krishna there. So because of them, they didn't have rebirth, but then others have to take a rebirth. So Krishna has personal feature as well as impersonal feature. Impersonalism is also a feature of Krishna, but devotee doesn't accept it. Why? Because he can't have an exchange of rasa with the impersonal feature, and he don't want to reach the Brahman effulgence to the Lord. He wants to go to his personal abode. Okay, so Arjuna is inquiring who's better, personalists or impersonalists. So there's two ways of realizing the absolute truth. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam adyayam advayam brahmedi paramatmedi bhagavani shabdati. Again, Bhagavatam says there are three ways of understanding the truth: is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Right? But then devotee has gone to the highest. That is those who worship the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service. That's a perfect. And so there are many, and Mayavadis, they worship Brahman. So there are many instances. Can someone say any instance where a Mayavadi became a devotee? You can put in the chat or say a Mayavadi becoming a devotee. Yes, Supriya Madhavi.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave lecture with the Mayavadis
Yes.
were all impressed with the
Who were there? The names. What was his name?
sorry,
Yes, you're right. Huh?
I don't know Mataji. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Sarva Bhattacharya. Yes, very good, Shubham Prabhu. And who else?
Sarvam Bhattacharya.
And who?
Four Kumaras, Mataji.
Ramanand Rai, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Ramanand Rai?
Ramananda Rai was a pure devotee of Krishna, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Sukadev
Sarvam Bhattacharya and who else?
Sukadev Goswami Mataji.
Four Kumaras, Mataji.
Shukadev Goswami, yes, he was a Mayavadi and later became a devotee. Good. And
Mataji Shankaracharya.
Shankaracharya also later on become devotee. Dinanath Prabhu, you wrote it right. Prabodhananda Saraswati, Prakashananda Saraswati, good. And Keshav Kashmiri, yes, Prajesh Prabhu, but he was not a Mayavadi. He was a demigod worshipper. Okay, so these were the examples. So is there, what are the examples of devotee becoming Mayavadi? Any example? Devotee becoming Mayavadi? No?
No Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Jyoti Mataji? Yes, Jyoti Mataji, what is your answer?
Mataji, four Kumaras. They
Four
smelled
Kumaras is Mayavadi becoming devotee. No, they were Brahman realization, and then they smelled the tulsi at the lotus feet of Krishna. As example for the first class of people, Mayavadis becoming devotees. Shukadeva Goswami, yes, he was worshipping Brahman and then went to a forest, heard Bhagavatam, came back, became a personalist. Good. And I'm asking the other way around, devotee becoming Mayavadis.
Mataji,
There's no
devotee
example,
becoming a
Mataji. No
Mayavadi.
example.
That
No
is falling
No such example.
down.
No example, Mataji.
And yes, Jyoti Mataji, what is it? I can't hear you. Okay. Yeah, there's no example as such because a devotee have already got highest rasa. Then why should he come down to lowest rasa, becoming a Mayavadi? But there was an example where Srila Prabhupada was doing a role play where he has debates between his disciples and himself. So sometimes Prabhupada become a devotee and the disciples become Mayavadi. Prabhupada wins. And sometimes the other way around, Prabhupada becomes a Mayavadi just for a sake of it. And then the disciples become devotees. Still Prabhupada wins because his way of putting his argument was so strong. In debate, it's like that, right? Who puts the argument strongly will win. So Prabhupada also acted as a true and impersonalist. And nobody, yes, definitely can win over Prabhupada. And so that was one of the examples. So Arjuna inquiring, a personalist devotee worshipping Krishna, which is better, or an impersonalist meditator who worship the impersonal Brahman. So Krishna says, Krishna indicates in the second chapter, sloka, he says, Shri Bhagavan Vaja, Mai eva veshya mano ye mam nitya yukta upasade, Shraddhaya parayopetas, te me yuktatma madaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their mind on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered to be me by the most perfect. Now, how can Mayavadi say Krishna doesn't have a form? See, the 12th chapter, second sloka of Bhagavad Gita says, Shraddhaivan Paryopetas. So you have to concentrate on his personal form. Krishna himself says, right? My avesha manoye. So you have to fix your mind on the personal form of Krishna. So Krishna himself says he has a personal form. Then why are we denying it? No, then what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says about Mayavadis? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Mayavadis as whom? Yes? Nobody knows? Nobody read Chaitanya Charitamrita?
If you hear from Mayavadi, then you will be ruined. Always Sarvanas.
Yeah, Mayavadi Vashi Shunile Hoy Sarvanash. That's fine, but Sarvanash Hoy. But who? The Mayavadis are called as what by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You're right. When you hear a Mayavadi, definitely you get there is all Sarvanash. But then Mayavadis are called as Krishna Aparadi. Okay, Prabhupada, not Prabhupada. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls Mayavadi Krishna Aparadi. Why? Why they are Krishna Aparadi?
Mataji,
Yes, Kanjan Mataji.
Mataji, because they are cutting pieces of Lord Krishna's body and they are actually not worshipping the personal form. So they are aparadhi of Krishna.
Yeah, so Krishna has a form and you say he doesn't have a form. That's like a biggest offense to Krishna. No, you should not do that. So Mayavadi, Krishna Aparadi. That's what Krishna Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. And we should not associate with non-Mayavadis. And Krishna indicates in this chapter that Bhakti Yoga or devotional service is the highest of all. Yoginam abhisarvesha madhyade nandaratmana shraddhavan bhajade yoma sameyakta tamomara. So out of all the yogis, the best is Bhakti Yoga. That's the highest. And the most direct and easiest means to associate with Godhead. Krishna also has emphasized attachment to his personal form in early chapter also. Krishna says in the second chapter also, right? Living entity is the spiritual spark and supreme truth is the spiritual whole. Also says in the 6th that Bhakti Yoga is the best. 7th also he says, Mame Vamsho Jivaloke, we are part and parcel of Krishna. Chapter 8 also he says, whoever think of Krishna Antakalesha Mameva Smaranutva Kalevaram attains is about. All this says Krishna is a person. He's a person, he's a supreme person. Right? So Arjuna is inquiring who is better, personal or impersonal. So Arjuna is clarifying his own position. Why? Because Arjuna is attached to the personal form of Krishna. Okay? He is not attached to the impersonal Brahman. And so he wants to know what is his position. So Arjuna is understanding that the worshipping of impersonal feature is waste of time, because one cannot perfectly conceive the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. And experience in chapter 11, he saw the personal form of Krishna is the best, because the universal form he asked, then he asked Krishna to show the 4-handed form, then he asked to come in the 2-handed form. All other forms can be understood for one who understands Krishna's personal form, right? So pure devotees of Krishna is the most perfect in yoga. My aveshya manoyema, those who fix their mind on Krishna's personal form, right? They are worshipping Krishna and they are associating. Yeah, there is no service in the impersonal feature. In Brahman effulgence, there is no service actually, okay? Only Brahmananda, no Sevananda. So there is fall down. And how do we do devotion service? With great faith. They are considered by Krishna to be the most perfect. So one, in Krishna consciousness, there is no material activities because everything is done for Krishna. A pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears about Krishna, read books about Krishna. He cooks prasadam, goes to the marketplaces to purchase something for Krishna, and sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. That's called samadhi. Now, what is that term called? A devotee doesn't even wasting one moment. Does anyone know? And that's a symptom of bhava.
Amrish Maharaj?
No, that's an example. But what is that stage called? In Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami says the
Abhilasha Shunya.
of bhava.
Anya Abhilasha Shunya.
That is pure devotion service, Mataji. This is a symptom of bhava, not wasting a single moment.
Mataji, Sutta Staba? What I forgot? Sutta. I forgot, Mataji. Sutta Staba.
Avyartha kalato. Avyartha kalato means not wasting even a single moment materially, in the sense using everything for Krishna service. Avyartha kalato. There are so many symptoms like Pridistat Vasadistale. A pure devotee like to stay in a place where Krishna's pastimes have happened. Or Namagana Sadaruchi. He likes to chant and hear about Krishna. Then Shanti. Shanti means tolerance. Then Virakti, he have detachment. All that is
Then the
symptoms.
sign of the
Bhava.
body shaking and bhava. Yeah.
Yeah, that is Ashta Satvika Vihar. What he is saying is the body shaking and the hair standing on end, the tears coming. All this is Ashta Satvika Vihar. That's an ecstasy when somebody is in transcendental ecstasy that comes. But this is of bhava, the different features of bhava. So this of not me letting. So tomorrow is whose appearance day? Appearance?
Vamana Dev.
That is today. Today is Vamana Avatar.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Yeah, very good. So,
Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
So Prajesh Prabhu, what is the best quality in Bhakti Vinod Thakur? The best quality, you know?
Mataji, I know that he was Grihastha and
Yes, very good.
he was Acharya, like one of the Acharyas who was Grihastha.
Yes, but that's he's a Grihastha. But what was he by profession?
He was a magistrate.
Good. He was a high court judge or a magistrate, and he had 10 children, and he wrote hundreds of books on Vaishnav culture. How do he divide his day, 24 hours?
Into 3 parts, like 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. 8 hours for our everyday duties, including sleeping and everyday duties. 8 hours for work and 8 hours for bhakti. Yeah, very good. So what does Bhaktivinoda Thakur do is, he divides the day into 8, 8, 8. Like 8 hours for body. Definitely, we spend more than that. So 6 hours for sleeping and 2 hours for bathing and all that thing, eating and all. So 8 hours for his Ugra Karma, like job. So some have 12 hours and all. And then 8 hours is enough. That's what he says. And 8 hours for devotional service. How much do we do? Okay, 2 hours for chanting 16 rounds. And then might be 1 hour for the class once in a week. Or might be many are attending, like Supriya Mataji is our Bhagavatam reader. She reads Prabhupada's purport every day. And it's so nice to listen to her. She comes every day. For the Bhagavad. So Nitya Bhagavad Sevya. So like half an hour, might be 45 minutes hearing about Krishna. That's it. So might be 3 hours maximum we spend for Krishna. What about 8 hours? So he sleeps only 2 hours. He's a Manjari. We can't imitate.
but even Srila Prabhupada, no? So Avyarta Kalata means doesn't waste a single moment without doing Krishna conscious activities. That's like a pure devotees. So Krishna, such devotees are very, very dear to Krishna. So Krishna says, yes, for my asakta manapartha, you have to fix your mind on my personal form. And as Nirguna Yashoda Mother says, Ambarish Maharaj, yes, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindya, his all the senses were used to serve Krishna, the personal form of Krishna. So yes, he's a nice example who was like that. Yetva aksharamaniddeshyam avyaktam pariyupasade sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastam achalam dhruvam sanniyam mendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvandi mam eva sarvabhuta hideradaha. But those who are fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone. Such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. So the impersonalist people also, yeah, he's Kamala man. So impersonal person also will reach Krishna, but it takes a long time. Okay. So Arjuna is very happy to hear that devotional service is superior. But now he's asking, what will happen to the impersonalists? Those who worship the unmanifested, what will happen to them? So Krishna says, eventually they will surrender. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam pravittade Vasudeva Sarva iti Samahatma Sudhurlapa. Very, very rare, but that is. So Vasudeva realization after many births. Such worshippers has to control the senses, render service to everyone, engage in the welfare of all beings. So one has to cease all sensual activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working. Often there is much penance involved before one surrenders to Krishna. So Prabhupada says, but for common men, this method of impersonal realization is very, very difficult. Yes, in impersonalism also they can reach Krishna, but it takes a lot of janmas. Why do we have to waste our time? Because Krishna says in this chapter, the 5th sloka, can somebody tell which slokas to be memorized in chapter 12? Can you check? Klesho adhikadaraste sham avyakta sakta chedasam avyakta higadar dukkham deva deha vavari. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme,
chapter 12, we don't have any sloka given.
Or nothing to be memorized?
Nothing, Mataji.
Okay.
Only till 10.
Okay. So 12.5 is also a nice sloka to preach. For preaching, you can use Klesho adhikadarastesham avyakta sakta chedasam. In the sense, it's very difficult. Advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So Bhakti Yoga is the highest. And for Jnana Yogis, the types of transcendentalists are Bhakti Yogis, Jnana Yogis, Karma Yogis, Ashtanga Yogis and all. Okay. So Jnana Yogis also follow the path of inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Lord. And Bhakti Yogis are in full Krishna consciousness. And they engage in devotional service of the Lord. And which is the highest, the Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so by Jnana Yoga, an embodied soul may realize the eternal knowledgeable aspect of the nature of the Lord, but the blissful portion is realized by Bhakti Yoga. Kevala Ananda Kanda. Okay, there's so much of happiness when you do Bhakti Yoga. But Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, there's no much happiness which is coming. So, and Bhakti Yoga is easier and natural for the soul. So by the grace of a devotee, a transcendentalist who's highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga. Even the goal of impersonal Brahman, which is attained by Jnana Yogis, by such suffering is only by having a mixture with Bhakti. Without Bhakti to the Lord, the worshippers of impersonal Brahman obtain only suffering and not Brahman. So though the Bhakti Yogis also endure difficulty in controlling the senses and engage in various angas of Bhakti, because of the appearance of Krishna's blissful form, they do not experience the same suffering as impersonalists. Now, sometimes Janmashtami, Radhashtami, so much arrangements to be made. Sometimes there may not be manpower, there may not be devotees helping. So you need to run around and do so many things. But then you still feel that pleasure. And even the last arati, the final arati, you still jump or dance with the devotees because that energy is coming from Krishna. Because the Krishna's blissful form, when you see that beautiful form, everything, all the suffering is gone. Right? So even in devotional service, there is some suffering which is taken care by Krishna's beauty. So this you can know, very easy comparison given between impersonalists and personalists. So impersonalists meditate on formless, that is difficult for embodied living being. and personalists meditate on the beautiful deity, form or deity of Krishna. So impersonalists it is unmanifested beyond the senses, right? And they have to restrict the senses. But personalists, they engage their senses in worshipping Krishna, and they see the deity of the Lord, hear the sound of Mahamantra. So all the senses are engaged positively. And one must understand Brahman through Upanishads. They have to learn Sanskrit language and understand the non-perpetual feeling. But in personalists, one understands Krishna through devotional service. Even if you are illiterate, still you can understand Krishna. Simply chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra can be done. So Prabhupada says that. Or you can, under the guidance of spiritual master, you can simply offer obeisance to the deities, hear the glories of the Lord, eat the remnants of prasadam or foodstuff offered to the Lord. And impersonal is a long process, not in one janma. You can't reach perfection or samadhi in one janma, and it's very difficult to take up. But the personal is completely natural, and impersonal is troublesome. There's no relationship with the Lord. You can't have any rasa exchange. And the personals, their miseries are mitigated or destroyed with relationship with Krishna. And impersonal depend on one's own endeavor. But for a devotee, Krishna delivers the devotee from Maya. Which is that sloka, Manasi, you know?
Which one, Mataji?
That if you surrender to Krishna, then you can cross Maya.
Oh, no. Is it Sarva Dharma Parititya?
Maya. Devi Hesha Gunamai.
Yes, Mataji.
7.3.
Yes, Mataji, you know, Nirguna Ishada Mataji. Devi Hesha Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratya. Mami Vayapravatende Maya. Good. So that's a slogan. So Krishna says that Krishna will deliver the devotee from Maya because Krishna himself recommends the process, and out of love and his mercy, he delivers us. Okay. So Brahman realization is nirguna, in the sense without qualities. But why do you say it's without quality? Nirguna. When you say Krishna is nirguna. No, I like Nirguna Mataji's answer is because your name starts like Nirguna Yashoda. So you think Yashoda Maya is Nirguna? Yes, Mataji, what do you understand by the name which you got?
The one who has no, like, it doesn't affect of any Maya. It
Good. That means they have qualities or guna.
Qualities of guna.
Which is not material. Nirguna means no material qualities. It's spiritual. Okay, above the three modes. Who gave this? Hemo Mataji. Yes, above the three modes. Yes, Prajesh Prabhu. He's not affected by the three modes. Okay, so nirguna means he has qualities but no material quality. Or nirakar means he doesn't have a material form. He has transcendental form. So nirguna also means without gunas, but in Krishna's sense, nirguna means without material gunas or qualities. He has spiritual. Nirakar means without form, like in personalists they say. But for personalists also, for devotees also, Krishna is nirakar, in the sense he doesn't have a material form. Okay, understood? So that's the thing. And saguna, Bhagavan realization is saguna with form, qualities, etc. Brahman is inconceivable, and Bhagavan Krishna possesses all the inconceivable potency. Brahman is all pervading. Bhagavan is also all pervading by his energy and super soul. Brahman is unchanging, fixed, and immovable. Bhagavan is unchanging, fixed, and immovable, and cannot perceive any opulence because of lack of activity. There is no activity in Brahman realization. But in Bhagavan, he's a possessor of 6 principal opulences, all in full. There's so much activity. And risk of not realizing absolute truth at the end. Brahman realization, it's not complete. And Bhagavan, its success is guaranteed, which is that sloka. There is success is guaranteed, and there is no loss in devotional service. Neha Vikrama Nasosti. Yes, Manasi?
Neha Vikrama Nasosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Salpavam Pyasa Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat.
Very good. So whatever small thing we can do for devotional service, it's never lost. Nothing is lost, and success is guaranteed. Right? Swalpamapisya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. It will save you from great dangers. So when we realize the eternal Sat, knowledge, Chit, and Ananda, Sat and Chit in Brahman, but Sat, Chit, Ananda, that is bliss, is realized in Bhagavan. And when you realize Bhagavan, Brahman is already realized. When you have 1,000 rupees with you, 500 rupees and 100 rupees is already there. Okay, so Brahman, Krishna, Bhagavan realization is the highest. What is the example, analogy given in text 5 by Srila Prabhupada? Any analogy? Can you all search for any analogies in the second paragraph? This is very important in Bhakti Shastri point of view. Second paragraph, 12.5. Who got it? Yes, Ankita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The analogy is basically if there is a mailbox and we put a letter, it will reach the destination. Similarly, the Archa Vigraha in the temples is the form of a God, and we should, offer our services to him.
Yes. So there might be so many mailboxes. Sometimes children also put some cardboard box and all. If you put a letter into that, will it go to the destination? No. But this red box, that typical Indian post box, which is recognized by the government, you put any letter into it, definitely it will go to the destination. Similarly, the Archa Vigraha, the deities, can be of different way. It can be made up of earth, clay, mud, or brass, or stone, or it can be metals, it can be gold or something like that. So even a picture is the Lord's form. So the deities, which is Prana Pradishta and installed in the temple, it's not just a statue. Pradimanahi Tumi Sakshal Brajendranandran, he is the Supreme Personality himself, right? So that is recognized. Archa Vigraha is recognized, like a mailbox is recognized by the government. And so any service you do to the Archa Vigraha deity, you go directly to Krishna. Yeah, wood also. Which God came in wood? Daru Brahman, Jagannath came in wood. So Lord comes in different form. It's not just a wood, it's the Lord himself. Okay. So this is the crude example. So this you can expect. I'll give a clue for closed book exam. Study all the analogies from chapter 7 to 12. It's given in your question bank and handbook. Just refer to handbook as well as your question bank of unit 2 between chapter 7 to 12. So all the analogies you should be knowing. The second is connection between different chapters. Okay. Connection between chapter 7 and 8, 8 and 9, 9 and 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. You should be knowing at least something. What is the connection? Krishna didn't give it randomly. There is a connection of flow of thoughts between chapter 7 to 12. Even though all are Bhakti Yoga, for connection, you should see the end of a sloka in one chapter and the beginning sloka of the next chapter, or the concept should be clear. Then you can answer that question. So 6 and 7, he says, Bhakti is the simple and easiest process for personalists, for Ananya Bhakti. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sannyasa matparaha ananyenaiva yogena madhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavanina chirat pata mai aveshitat chedasa. By those who worship me, giving up their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, always meditating upon me, that's Krishna, having fixed their mind upon me, O son of Pritha, for them, I'm the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. It's crossing Maya. They're very easy to cross Maya. So devotees are very fortunate because they'll be delivered very soon from material existence. And the simple method is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. A devotee does not desire anything. As Mataji was saying, Anya Bilashira Shunyam, that's how pure devotional service is. And they just want to please Lord. Some Siddhim Haritoshanam. They want to please Krishna. And his life's mission is to please Krishna. And he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, like Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. So the process is, we have to chant the holy name. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotees to the personality of Godhead. So Krishna promises, like, as man said, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mashade. He takes away all your miseries and then delivers you from the ocean of death, birth and death. So Bhakti is a simple and easiest process. So Krishna promises, Prabhupada quotes, Nayami Paramam Sthanam Arshir Adi Gadim Vina Garuda Skandam Aropya Yetecham Anivartidaha. A devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga. now to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets, because the responsibility is taken by the Lord himself, right? So this is for pure devotees. We have to go to that stage yet. Okay, by chanting Hare Krishna, we can go back home, back to Godhead, but there's a condition that's applying. What is the condition? You have to put an asterisk and send conditions apply. What is that condition? You can chant Hare Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead, but what is the clause? Yes. Very good. Offenselessly. Yes, Prajesh Prabhu, excellent answer. That should be Shuddhanam. Offenselessly means not in Nama Aparadha, Nama Abhas. It has to be without any offense. Yes, Kripa Mataji. But then it should be pure holy name, pure name. That is Shuddhanam. Nama Aparadha, Nama Abhas, and Shuddhanam. Shuddhanam should be chanted. And Shuddhanam means without any material desires, fully concentrating on the Lord, just doing to please the Lord. So that's called Shuddhanam. So if you chant Shuddhanam, definitely we go back home, back to Godhead. Okay? But that's not easy to reach to Shuddhanam. We should keep practicing, then we'll do. So example given is, the child is completely cared for by the parents, right? So he doesn't have to do anything by himself. Similarly, Krishna takes care of his devotees. Like he came in the back of Garuda. For whom? He came behind in Garuda.
Gajendra.
Gajendra. So to help Gajendra, he came back in the back of Garuda. So that is one example that a child is completely dependent on the care of the parents. Similarly, the example given is the monkey holding its baby monkeys and the cat holding the kitchen, or the cat holding the kitchen and the cat holding a rat. Now, when cats hold a rat, the intention is to kill the rat. So it will be very sharp when it's old. But when the cat is holding its own kitten in the mouth, it will be very soft, no? Or another example is, you've seen, anyone seen monkeys having baby monkeys with them? Especially go to Vrindavan, there's so many. Did you see how the monkeys carry their baby monkeys? Right? The baby monkeys has to catch the monkey. The monkeys, mother monkeys, I hardly see them holding the babies. And if they have twins, one will be under them and one will be over. So it keeps jumping from one tree to another, and the mother monkey is not bothered. The baby has to, with his tiny hands, he has to catch the mother. And if at all something happens, the baby might fall. So, but then, so the baby out of its effort is holding the mother. It's not the mother holding the baby. But for the cat is holding the baby. So we holding Krishna's hand and Krishna holding our hand, there's difference. Right? So Krishna is holding the hands of pure devotees. So Krishna will never let them go. Or a man fallen in an ocean may struggle to swim across. But then somebody comes and picks him up from the water, he's easily rescued. So the Lord picks the devotee from material existence. Only thing we have to do is surrender. So Krishna promises, right, that we should be engaged in his devotional services and not have mental speculation. And one who's devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all benefits derived from other yogic process, speculation, rituals, sacrifice, and charities. Conclusion is that simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process, right? Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization that everyone takes shelter of Krishna, and that's the highest perfection of life. So this is very easy to perform for a devotee, but it's difficult. Why do you say Bhakti Yoga is easy as well as difficult? Easy we understood, very easy. Anybody can come, take prasadam, chant holy name, dance in kirtan. But why is it said Bhakti Yoga is difficult? Easy as well as difficult. Yes,
Wake
Sonima.
up in the morning for Mangal Aarti, to do
That's
2 hours
difficult.
chanting, to do 2
Yes.
hours chanting.
So sadhana bhakti is little difficult in that way, yes. But that's just external reason. Yes, Jyoti Mata. Offense can happen, yes. So many offense like Nama Aparad, Seva Aparad, and Vaishnava Aparad, and yes, offense can happen. Yes, Prafula Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, that one on Mataji. Offense,
Okay.
Offense at the feet of Vaishnava.
Vaishnava Aparad. Okay, Jyoti Mataji.
Mataji, in Bhakti Yoga, the more the person becomes sincere, the more hurdles are likely to arise. more you come closer to the God, more will be the disturbances created. So Lord tests the devotion, that whether this person, his faith will waver or whether he or she will stick to the faith.
Good. Yes,
We
that is
cannot
another
label
reason.
ourselves as devotees. It's the Lord who labels us as devotee. And that too, when we clear his whatever he tests he conducts, when we
Yes.
clear that, then he labels us. We cannot call ourselves as devotees.
Yes. So Hemuma, this says mindfulness in bhakti is difficult, or mind control is not so easy. Yes. And Brajesh Prabhu says not easy to come to the path of actually pure devotion. We are actually doing what? Karma Mishrita Bhakti or Jnana Mishrita Bhakti. We are not doing pure devotional service. Anya Abhilasha Darshan. No. Even though we say we don't have any desires, still some desires keep coming. So ours is not pure devotional service. So that's why to come to the pure devotional service stage, it's difficult. So bhakti is difficult in that way. And what are the other reasons which you said? Yes, bhakti is difficult, right? So in the chapter 12, verse 1 to 7, the supremacy of bhakti is checked. He's asking personalness or impersonalness is better, right? And Krishna says personalness is better. Okay. So mailbox in the street, we also similarly saw this analogy, right? And child completely cared by the parents, and man fallen in the ocean. So these are all analogies you should know. Mailbox on the street is about Archa Vigraha, right? DPs. So this is recognized mailboxes, and they go to the correct destination. Similarly, any offering, any service done to the deities, Archa Vigraha, it also go back to Krishna because it's a representative. And a child is completely cared by the parents, and also a man fallen in the ocean has to be saved by somebody come and pick. Similarly, Krishna, for devotees surrendered, Krishna takes care of them, right? So why bhakti is considered the most perfect with reference to Krishna's teachings? Why do you think bhakti is the most perfect? Yes. Why bhakti is considered the most perfect with reference to Krishna's teachings, verse 1 to 7 in chapter 12. Preaching application. Yes, Sonia Mataji, you know.
Yes, Mataji. Here we are directly connected to Krishna, whereas the impersonalists, they don't get connected to Krishna. They worship the Brahman form and they struggle to reach to Krishna, which later on they will of course reach with many, many lives. So they have the chances to follow, whereas the bhakti is a sure route to reach to Krishna if we follow it with offenseless. No?
Yeah, so Minal Mother says it takes us back home, back to Godhead. Yes, Hema Mother says direct path back to Krishna. That's why. And there's no loss. Yes, Prabhu. And bhakti in what can help us reach Krishna, right? For the cycle of birth and death. So yes. So in that way, bhakti is easiest and the most perfect. In 8 to 12, is a progressive level of bhakti is mentioned. Okay, like you can see here. So mind should be fixed in Krishna, which is the topmost. Okay, then we'll have a relationship with Krishna. Or we can follow the regular principles of sadhana bhakti. Or if you can't do that, you can work for Krishna. Or if you can't do that, renunciation, cultivation of knowledge and meditation can be done. So from 8 to 12, it's a continuation. Okay, by saying that 8th is that how Ananya Bhakti should be done. Okay, so 8th sloka is about Ananya Bhakti. That means Krishna is giving now a lot of options. Krishna is not a strict person that you have to become pure devotee or you have to do only this. No, he gives you a lot of options. As the first option, he's like, do Ananya Bhakti. Completely depending on Krishna, not doing anything else, just doing complete dedication and devotional service. That is one thing, complete mind fixed in Krishna. You can't do that, then he says you can do sadhana bhakti. So sloka number 9 is about sadhana bhakti, that you have to follow the 4 relative principles and have a desire to attain Krishna, develop the desire to attain Krishna. That is sadhana bhakti. You can't do that, then Krishna says in the 10th sloka, work for Krishna. You have to do work for Krishna, okay, some kind of work, so that it doesn't bind us to the material world and brings us to devotional service. You can't do that, then he says Nishkama Karma Yoga, give up your fruits of activities to him. Or you can't do that, still he says at least have renunciation, cultivation of knowledge and meditation. So in that way, he gives us a lot of options. Yeah, Lord Krishna is pure, so path to reach him is also pure. Yes, definitely. So for that purification process, we are chanting Hare Krishna so that all the anarthas go away. And when the more you will hear about Krishna, all the material desires in your heart also goes away. Shrivata Sakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayandasta Badhrani Vidinodi. So the more you hear about Krishna, all material desires just go away. Okay. So I think no use of rushing and going, because anyway, definitely you don't want the exam next week. So I'll continue with chapter 12 next week. Okay. So a quick discussion we can just have. What are the other ways to reach Krishna? Or not other ways to reach, other ways to cross Maya. What are the different ways to cross Maya? One is, yes, you surrender to Krishna, you can cross Maya. But before I forget, Rajesh Prabhu, you can post attendance link, and Ankita and so Manaswi. Wait, I'll just make you co-host. Yes, what are the other ways to cross Maya?
Mataji, doing charitable works with Krishna as the center, focus. Like I'm doing this for Krishna. Like those who cannot focus on Krishna, those who cannot worship the Lord, if they indulge in charitable works like opening hospitals, schools as a service to the Lord.
No,
from a part of their salary.
Hospitals and schools, how it will become service to the Lord? Then you're saying Madhav Seva, Manav Seva, or Manav Seva, Madhav Seva.
It is Madhav Seva, Manav Seva. Like Manav Seva, Madhav Seva. Sorry, I was wrong. Manav Seva, Madhav Seva, making Krishna as a center, that I'm doing this for the Lord. And I don't expect any outcome.
No. How much ever you do Manav Seva, still going to bind you here, because a lot of punya comes. Right? Yes, as you said, you can.
Mataji, I'm saying
you can distribute Krishna.
Giving the food.
Food can be offered to Krishna and give us as prasadam. That can be done. But opening hospitals and school, Prabhupada, you listen to his lecture, he says, that's not Madhav Seva. Yes, if the hospital is centered around Krishna, as you said, the Bhakti Vedanta hospital, what do? Anyone knows? It's in Mumbai. They give darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra to every room in the patients. Wherever the patients are in the ward, they take these small deities of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra every day, and then go around and give them darshan, make them hear kirtan. And if somebody is about to die, some devotees sit around them and chant the holy name, and so much prasadam is distributed, and the doctors are all devotees there. So in that way, as Mataji said, yes, centering around Krishna, that's good. But otherwise, just for punya, then it becomes material. Okay.
Mataji, what about association of devotees and do service along with them?
You can post the attendance link, Prajesh Prabhu and Manaswi. Post it. What, Mataji? What about?
Be in association with the devotees and serve the Lord.
That's the best. That's the best way you can get out of Maya. That's the best way. Any other way?
Mataji, by preaching Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Mataji?
By preaching Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, preaching Krishna consciousness. Actually, association of devotees will help you cross Maya. Preaching Krishna consciousness also. But when you preach, still Maya can trick you.
By reading scriptures, Mataji, especially all the
by reading, it helps. When somebody didn't read, Prabhupada's like, why your mind is so disturbed? Because you're not reading my books. So Prabhupada says that you're supposed to read scriptures, then you can cross Maya. But distributing Prabhupada's book, definitely.
Hearing classes, Mataji.
Hearing classes. Yes. Yes.
By attending Bhagavatam classes.
Yeah, Nityam Bhagavad Sevya.
By chanting, especially we can get this.
Cross Maya. Okay. Any other way to cross Maya?
By controlling our senses and minds.
By following the footsteps of Amrish Maharaj.
Yes. Okay, all of you please fill that in this form.
Yes.
This is all difficult, no? Chanting, we are doing Nama Aparad. We are not in Shuddhanam. Now, following the footsteps of great devotees, it's very difficult. We can't do Anukaran, Anucharan. We should just follow their footsteps, which is difficult. Yes, Manasi.
Mataji, I heard from one Guru Maharaj, he said that we should take the name of Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur, and then he will be showing his mercy upon us and we can be over Maya.
Yeah, that's why when we pay obeisances and when we say Premadhvani, we say Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, we glorify him every day. Okay, so following Acharyas or remembering him. Yes, Minal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, one slok is given in that there are ways given. You have to use or whatever is offered to Krishna, you can use it after later on. Then Uchit remnants food, what offered prasadam offered to Krishna, that we can have it. One sloka is that in that all the ways are given, Mataji.
Yes, I was looking for this answer from someone. Good. So that Uddhava, when Krishna, is something called, see, Bhagavad Gita, we all know. Now there is something called Uddhav Gita, I think in the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where there is Krishna gives transcendental advice to Uddhava. Okay, in that, Uddhava is saying to Krishna that just by doing 5 things, we can cross Yamaya very easily. I think I've said this many times. So he says the 5 things, Tava Upabhukta Shrigganda Vaso Alangara Charchidaha Uchishta Bhojanam Dasas Tava Mayam Jayemihi. The 5 things very easy to cross Maya. Chanting the holy name, doing all devotional service, yes, it's good, but then it's not easy way. There's so much difficulties, right? But Uddhava says 5 easy way to cross Maya. One is Tava Upabhukta Shrigganda, the garlands offered to the Lord. Sometimes at home or sometimes you go to temple, you get the pujaris will give you garland as prasadam. Wear that garland, smell that garland, or the flowers offered in your home, or tulsi offered to Krishna, just smell it. That's it, very easy. And then ganda, tava upabhakta shragganda, ganda used by the Lord, in the sense in form of chandan, like you've seen in Guru Puja. They put chandan to Prabhupada and then give to you. Or the Narsimha oil you apply to the Lord, that can be used. Shriganda, Vaso Alangara Charchi, the dress used by the Lord, especially during Abhisheka and all the cloths that is worn by the Lords are used, and devotees tie them around the hand. Or it can be Vaso Alangara, the ornaments worn by Radharani. Sometimes in Barsana, you get the bangles from offered to Radharani will be given, distributed as prasada. So ornaments can be used by the devotees. And Uchishta, it's very easy to overcome Mayas. Just have prasadam, you can cross Maya. Okay, so these are the ways, 5 simple ways to cross Maya. See that we do it every day. Like some garlands or some flowers in Krishna offered, you should use it. Whatever Krishna used, Tava Ubabhukta, after Krishna uses it, you use it. Or Ganda, the smell, the ornaments, or the dresses worn by the lordships, or prasada. So it is very easy to cross Maya. Okay. Yeah, clothes. Sometimes some temples, they give off the old clothes when new clothes come. Sometimes in Vrindavan, they give it for auction, or Radharani's jewels and all, the old ones. And devotees can take them as prasadam. So that is, these are the 5 simple ways to cross Maya. Rest, surrendering, chanting, all that is there, but that need perfection. This anybody can do. It is said, when you go to Vrindavan, you're supposed to roll on the dust of Vrindavan, the reg. The same effect you get when chanting the holy name or doing Sankirtan in Mayapur. Okay, and the same effect you get by just eating prasadam in Jagannath Puri. So all 3 are the same effect. So Krishna comes in different manifested form. He comes as the Vraj, the Dham. He comes as the holy name, Sankirtan, or he comes as prasadam. All that is Krishna. So these are very easy way to overcome Maya. Okay. So I'll stop here. Need a lot of explanations to be done. Can't rush and go. Bhakti Shastri is not about, I got a complaint like someone saying that it's very slow. Bhakti Shastri is like that because it's not like 18 days course. It's not like your level 2. This is level 5. It's advanced course, right? And you need to understand each level and go. What is the use of rushing and going and you get a certificate? You don't know the basics. What is the use, no? So, and I know many are preachers here, like Mansi have taken class, Sonia Mataji have taken, Ravina Mataji have taken. So when you take class, what happens? This will help. All these discussion is going to help you when you take preaching. Yes, Jyoti Mataji.
Mataji, I want to ask one question that like I'm trying to learn the shlokas, how to pronounce it.
You hear,
now they are in Sanskrit.
Yeah, you hear the recordings, go to YouTube and you try to hear the recordings of that sloka, particular sloka, whichever sloka you want, like BG 12.1, you type and all the YouTube videos comes, or there's an app actually where there is all the slokas recording is there. Keep hearing the sloka again and again and again until you got the pronunciation. Okay, 2-3 times you keep hearing. Once you get the pronunciation, then you keep repeating it again and again. Like, how do we learn all these
Mataji, but the
by hearing, na?
Teachers are telling me that you have your mother tongue is Hindi, so you blend Hindi in the shloka, and I can't understand. They tell me the correction, but again they say it's in your subconscious, and again you forget it, and it comes out automatically. And now I don't understand. I do my best, but again and again repeatedly they are telling me you are pronouncing in Hindi, you pronounce it in Sanskrit. There's a difference.
Okay.
And I'm not able to get it.
We are not here to become professional reciters or something. So you try to recite in your way. That's okay. Hindi, Sanskrit, might be some, it takes some time to come to that pronunciation level. That's why I said, keep hearing a nice pronounced verse, and then keep, just know where to stop, where to say. There's an apostrophe, it's ah, then there is a dash above, it's like ah. So our H and a dot, it's her. So learn that, and then it will come. Dadami Buddhi Yogam. Krishna will give the Buddhi Yoga.
And Mataji, what is the meaning of Pamho in the form which we fill? Na, it's written Hare Krishna Mataji's and Prabhuji's Pamho. What is the meaning of that word?
Actually, that's the short form of please accept my humble obeisances, and that has to be taken away. You should not put all that. It should be given like, please accept my humble obeisances. They just for time saving and space saving, they just write Pamo, which is not actually good. Prabhupada never used it. And they also say HK like Hare Krishna. Then so many things, no? AGSPT, all glory Srila Prabhupada, all these things they use. Actually, it's not accepted, Mataji. Better not to use all that. Yes, Vinal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, tomorrow is fast till noon. We have to do
No. Tomorrow is Bhaktivinoda Thakur appearance, but the fasting is done today because already Ekadashi, and fasting of Ekadashi is very important, the Paran time, right? Fast baking time. So you have to break the fast at the right time. I think 6:30, 10:30 something. You break it at the right time. But the fasting for Bhaktivinoda Thakur is already included in today's fast. It's already done. For half day, till half day, we were actually fasting for Bhaktivinoda Thakur today, because Ekadashi and that fast came together. Yes, Prafula Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, on Ekadashi should we offer rice dal sabji to Lord or not?
Yeah, if they are Radha Krishna, then you offer. If they are Gaurnitais, you don't have to offer, because Gaurnitais come in devotee form, right? The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So if they are Gaurnitais, you can just keep Ekadashi Prasadam. But if you have Krishna, then it's better to keep rice, but then you can't take. So what they do is they offer to the Lord and they keep it in fridge or something and they use it next day. However, whatever standard you have done in home. Huh?
Other persons are there to take.
Yeah, other people are there at home who's not fasting. Na? So you offer rice to Krishna and give that to them. So.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, Rajesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I had this one question, like on Ekadashi, can we eat like some food which is like offered to some demigod or something? Like today, one of my friend gave me prasadam offered to like Ganesha on Ganesh Chaturthi, like more that she gave.
Yeah, actually, demigods don't accept just like that. If you didn't offer to Krishna, they offer to Krishna and take. So demigods also accept Krishna prasadam. So you can accept, because demigods are also Krishna's devotee, right? So that's, but we should know that, see, like for example, Jagannath Puri, the prasadam goes to Bimla Devi first. That's how it becomes Mahaprasadam, right? So first it goes to Mother Parvati, then it goes to Lord Shiva. Actually, it's offered to Jagannath, it goes to Mother Parvati, and then it is distributed to everyone. Because the demigods, they are devotees of Krishna. They don't, if we, like minute living entities in the material world, we are taking Krishna Prasad, why don't demigods take Krishna Prasad? So the person who is offering because they are less intelligent. They don't offer to Krishna. They give directly to the demigods, but demigods definitely offer to Krishna and take. Right? So,
Okay, Mataji.
in that
And
way, there's
also,
nothing wrong in it. Yes.
okay, Mataji. Like, so, like, if some food item is like offered to demigod, like we don't need to offer it to Krishna, you know?
Yeah, first it should be offered to Krishna, because after offering to demigod, you can't offer to Krishna. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the way. So you can offer to the Guru Parampara. Like when you offer, we go through the Guru Parampara. So when you they go to Krishna, and when you're about to take the offering, you can offer to Guru Parampara. So in that way, Guru takes that karma.
Okay,
By
Mataji.
offering
And
it
also,
done- yes, Prabhu.
yes, Mataji. Like, yeah, I had this doubt also, Mataji. You said it goes through Guru Parampara, right? Like, so, but while offering, we chant Krishna's Pranam Mantra first, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, and then Prabhupada's, right?
No,
Like,
no,
well,
no. First, Prabhupada, first your Diksha Gurus or Shiksha Guru, Diksha Gurus or Shelter Guru. Next Prabhupada. Next Namo Mahavada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Last is Krishna Prabhu. I think you're doing it. No. First,
Yeah,
through
Mataji.
Guru,
Okay.
because you're going through Guru. You can't jump to Krishna first. First
Okay.
is Namo Vishnu Padaya, about your Diksha Guru, whoever is your Diksha Guru, if you have. Or else directly start with Prabhupada, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, last is Krishna. Krishna goes the last standard is high. So it's the last.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, one question I have.
Yes.
Mataji, here we are, like in Bengal, they celebrate Durga Puja. So what they do, they make khichdi. So in that khichdi, they use even onions, Mataji. So we cannot take that, no?
No, better to avoid. You can have some sweets or something instead.
Yes, Mataji. So
now though you are
that's it.
initiated, so you can definitely not
Yes.
have.
Yes.
Okay, so better to avoid. If you know they are mixing it, then better not to take. And it's better to avoid. Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Pranam. Mataji, actually,
You got muted, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, actually, I came to this batch from not from like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. I came means earlier we are having that like whoever chanting 16 round they can come batch, right? But now I am feeling so difficult, like chanting 16 round and reading Bhagavad Gita and doing this exam and all. It's
Your voice is breaking, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So what happened?
Miss, I'm feeling I'm cheating.
Why? You're chanting 16 rounds, no?
But I am not reading Bhagavad Gita, Mataji.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get time. I know, not only you are very sincere. That's why you're saying. Many of my Bhakti Shastri students are not able to read. I understand. But then that's not the way. They read only during exam. But try to put effort, Prabhu. I know you have a baby and then it's difficult, a job and family and all. But try to read at least once in a weekend or somewhere. Find some time and try to sit and read. Sometimes it's difficult. What you do is, while traveling or something, you can open the Veda base and start reading something randomly so that you associate with Prabhupada daily. So find a way that you try to read Prabhupada's book in some way before sleeping. Might be one sloka, one purport you can read, right, every day before sleep, going back to bed. We check our WhatsApp, Facebook. Instead, just read one sloka. When once you develop the habit, then you automatically it comes from. But it's difficult, I understand. Many, not only you, many are like that they wanted to quit Bhakti Shastri just because of that. No, stay in Bhakti Shastri and slowly Prabhupada will help. Sincerely pray to him and he will help. Okay?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Ankita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I was actually revising chapter 12 and I was trying to explain it to my family that, we should pray to Lord Krishna. He is the main God. And in Krishna book also, when all the sages, especially Bhrigu Maharaj, went to test all Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and he found that only Vishnu is the right God. Rest has tamogun and passion in them. But while explaining, probably I fell flat on my face because they started debating that Krishna here is so egoistic that he is saying, pray to me, come to me. That me, myself is so prominent in this chapter that I couldn't explain myself so nicely to them.
No, that's because Krishna is telling the truth. Krishna is telling the truth. He's not over exaggerating things or something. He's telling the fact. He's the supreme truth, right? So he is telling so that we understand that, okay, we need to surrender to him. That's why Krishna is directly saying to Arjuna that you have to do this. And Krishna showed the universal form and everything to have that faith in him, right? So Prabhupada's like, when Krishna is saying that surrender to him, why don't you surrender? Why don't we surrender? But Krishna is trying to convince us, but still people are not getting convinced. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to come, right? So we can't convince. Krishna himself had to come to convince others. But why is he saying this? That is absolute truth, Mataji. That's why he is like emphasizing on the fact that Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Yes, people think that, oh, Krishna is self-boasting himself, or Krishna is praising himself, or why is Krishna saying only him, only him? Because that's the truth. Krishna is trying to sell it in a simple way, and people are not able to understand it because there is nothing more to say. If Krishna says, okay, surrender to demigods, then everyone is going to their planet. No, only when you surrender to Krishna, you go to Krishna's world. So he is telling the plain truth, absolute truth, but people are not able to take it. Like Avajan and the Mahmoud, they say, like, they think he's just an ordinary person or he's self-posting himself. But a real guru, what does he say? He comes and says, surrender to Krishna. He doesn't say surrender to me. Some bogus guru says you have to surrender to them. No. But, and Krishna is Akila Jagat Guru. So he's telling the truth, Mataji. So we can't hide the truth. No, we can't misinterpret Bhagavad Gita in a wrong way. Krishna said, and Prabhupada repeated the same thing, and people can't accept it. Yes. I think last question. Yes, Jyoti Mataji, and we can stop. It's 9 o'clock.
Even Mataji, like we can say that because we are so foolish, Krishna has to ascertain. Yes, ascertain us, because when we put the we have a Tulsi beat, we have 3 rounds, right? Just to make it firm. So that way he is repeating again and again to make it very clear that he is the top.
So many times he's repeating the same thing. Like Manmana Bhav Bhakta, it's repeated twice to give emphasis on the thing. Still, we could not understand.
Because we are foolish.
Yes.
So we have been we are supposed to be told many times. So that's why he's asserting us that. So we can just tell them, Mataji. And for that Subham Mataji, he can start doing level 2 as he came from level 1. So that way slowly he can catch it. Otherwise, like I also came directly, Mataji, from level 1 to Shastri. But I continued with level 2. Now level 3, I'm almost to finish.
Now, sometimes I feel that that jump actually causes problem with many, because level 3, you will be going through nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction, and then you finish all that and come to Bhakti Shastri. It will really help you. But direct coming, it's little difficult. But as Mataji suggested, Prabhu, you can parallelly do level 2 or level 3. That will also help you. Or personal reading should be done. Put effort.
Yes.
Yes, Jyoti Mataji, what was your question?
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, I started reading Bhagavad Gita from some other version, which was not a Prabhupada Ji ka version, and I read a beautiful story that reading Bhagavad Gita, like if someone reads Bhagavad Gita, even sitting below a tree, even that tree is benefited. It was so beautiful. Even that tree, that vibration will go there. And I even read such beautiful stories that even the ghosts residing on the trees were liberated because the particular person was reading Bhagavad Gita sitting under that particular tree, and I read that there were many if someone is reciting for their ancestors, even they are benefited. So I thought that I will read it daily. If everyone is benefited, what is the harm? But it is, at times it becomes difficult. And Mataji, I started Bhagavatam and I read third canto, 6th chapter, and I stopped that also. Now I want to do both, Bhagavatam also, Bhagavad Gita also, but there is such a hectic schedule of mine that I'm busy the whole day and I'm not getting how to do it.
Yeah, you just have to do like less slokas, might be. You may not be able to do the whole chapter. Like might be like 5 slokas from Bhagavad Gita and one or two slokas from Bhagavatam. Daily you keep reading, and then the reading speed increases, that you will be able to manage time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we can stop here. So it's very important.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Mataji. This
Yes.
Guru Maharaj, if he is coming, any plan for services like few disciples are there who I know in my own circle. So
You
any
are from
services?
where, Prabhu?
I'm from Mangalore only.
Oh, you're from Mangalore only. Then, yeah, definitely
Yes.
you come. We need a lot of help. So we'll let you know, Prabhu, when the exact date is. So you already initiated, na? Yeah. So
Yes.
definitely we need help. It's in the weekend now, 7th and 8th. So
Yes.
so much arrangements to be done. And Ramanishta Prabhu will confirm it by tomorrow, day after tomorrow, when Maharaj is going to be really here and what time is the. So yes, we need a lot of help from volunteers. You can definitely come and to Mangalore, our temple. And once the dates are announced, you try to book your tickets and come. Definitely, you can take darshan also of Maharaj.
I'm from Mangalore only, so it's
then no
tickets and all
problem
this.
for you. You can come.
Because in my circle, I have I'm connected to Jagannath Mandir.
Yeah.
So I have group of devotees connected. Like we have every week get together who are disciples of Jayapatak Swami.
Yeah.
So they are also interested and they want to serve.
Yeah, they come. They'll also, because there's inauguration happening, our temple, the inauguration also, and also initiation going to happen. So devotees come from Jagannath temple also here for service. Yeah, you can definitely come. But let me confirm the dates. Once the dates are confirmed, then definitely you can come.
Okay, you can just let me know if anything is
Yes,
there.
I'll put in the group. And as Mataji said, there's an example of Dundukari, who was in a ghost form and got delivered just by hearing Bhagavatam. And also there was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada called Jayananda Prabhu, who initiated Ratha Yatra, first Ratha Yatra. And he used to read Krishna book to an apple tree. The tree also gets delivered. So it was so beautiful how chanting the holy name and reading scriptures delivers all the living entities around us. That's why Prabhupada says, even if nobody comes to your class, preach to the 4 walls. Because so many insects and everyone keep hearing. So when we take class, when we listen, so many living entities are getting benefited. So Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna, right? Like the holy name. Okay, I think we can end here. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripasindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo Gaudiya Vaishnava ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone.